listener production.
Hello, it's Antoinette Lattouf. This is the Weekend Briefing, where I hit pause on the headlines and I get to hang out with someone fascinating and discuss their life, their work, and what drives them. Matthew Reilly is that person today. And if you don't know his name, I could almost bet my life that you've seen his books at the airport or at a bookstore, because he has written more than 30. From crime thrillers to action, and it includes the hugely popular Scarecrow and The Army of Thieves. The Sydney-born author has sold over 8 million copies worldwide and even directed a Netflix film with the Hemsworths, no less. So not bad for a guy who was rejected by every major publisher when he started out. So how did he go from DIY manuscripts to global blockbusters? Well, we'll get into all of that. Then later, it is the Weekend List, your dose of hot tips for what to watch, read, listen to, and everything in between. But first, author extraordinaire, Matthew Reilly. Matthew Reilly, welcome to the Weekend Briefing.
Thank you for having me.
So you've flown back into Sydney. You're based in Los Angeles now. What's it like flying back?
It's always good to see how Sydney changes. I'm very happy to see the roads have changed. There are so many cool new tunnels.
Okay. I mean, that's great. But if that's the most exciting thing about your hometown, the new tunnels.
I moved to LA at the start of 2015. And so it's like the North Connects one that takes you out of Sydney to the north, the tunnel to the Olympic Stadium.
Yep.
And then I flew in today, and the guy driving me into the city said, there's a tunnel from the airport all the way to the city.
Yeah, it's really fast.
And I'm like, we didn't take it. He said it was going to be a bit jammed this morning, but cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Is that also because now you live in Los Angeles, or you have for the past decade, and Los Angeles is known for many things, including its terrible traffic?
Yeah. LA has terrible traffic, but it moves.
Right.
And believe it or not, my wife and I, we had to sit driving tests when we moved to LA.
What is the other side of the road?
It's the other side of the road.
Yeah.
But we had to do the book test, so you fill out the answers on the computer, the multiple choice answers.
Yeah.
I had to do a behind the wheel test as a 40-year-old man.
Okay.
So I actually went and got a driving lesson with one of those companies with the L plates on it. And they take you around showing you what you do on your driving test. And what they tell you, apropos of your point, is they want you to be assertive, not aggressive. They basically say, we've got to keep the traffic moving in LA. So if there is a gap in the traffic, you take it.
Okay.
And so that's what they tell you.
Well, I'm really keen to know if you passed on the first go.
I did.
Okay, very
did.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we're not here to talk about traffic or tunnels. We're here to talk about you and your incredible career as a writer. Let's wind it back. You grew up in Sydney when there were far less impressive tunnels. Was writing always your calling?
I wanted to be a movie director.
Okay.
When I was in...
Well, you got to that, but we'll move on to that
Can't get ahead of myself.
In a little bit of time.
I used to build little movie sets for my Star Wars action figures. And if I were a kid now, I would have my phone filming them, putting sound effects, putting music, lightsaber noises. I realized when I was about 17 or 18, nobody was going to give me $100 million to make an action movie.
That must be a harsh reality to swallow.
It was, but I thought, why don't I try and write these stories as books? And the first book was Contest, guy fighting aliens in a building in New York, which if you did it as a movie even today would cost you $80 million.
Yeah. And so
that was the first one.
Are you writing it thinking, I see this as a movie, but I'm writing it as a book?
I see it cinematically.
Yeah.
I do write in terms of long shots or close-ups.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing it to be made into a movie because I know how difficult that is in the real world. But yes, I am trying to write in a visual movie style.
It's also difficult to get published. Let's talk through your first experience.
Well, so I write Contest. I'm 19 when I start it, 20 when I finish it. I'm at law school. I send it to all the major publishers who all reject it. And I'm disappointed for about 10 seconds. And I think that the right person hasn't read it. So I famously self-published Contest and got it into bookstores. I went to stores and asked to speak to the manager and said, hi, my name's Matthew Reilly. This is my book.
So how much does it cost to self-publish? Was it like a 1,000 print run at the time?
It was a 1,000 print run. Yeah. It cost me $8,000.
That's a lot of money for a 19-year-old or however old you are at the time.
I got a loan from the bank and a friend's dad invested in it. It was economies of scale. If I did 1,000 books, it cost me $8 a book. If I did 500 books, it was going to cost me $13 a book
Yeah,
or something.
right.
So it made sense just to do that. And most people who self-publish, unfortunately, can end up with a back room or a garage full of boxes of their books.
Yes.
But I took it to bookstores. I'd asked to speak to the manager, and it was a soul-destroying experience, especially when they say no. But
Yeah.
about 2/3 of them said yes, and one of them was the Angus and Robertson store on Pitt Street, which is no longer there.
Yeah.
And into that store walked the commissioning editor of fiction from Pan Macmillan, one of the companies that had rejected it, which I never ceased to remind them of.
And who have published your most recent book, as I understand.
They've published me for the last 27 years.
Oh, they're the same publisher.
They've been great. And so importantly for anybody out there who's writing a book, she wanted to know what else I was working on. She said, I don't want someone who writes one. I want someone who writes 2, 3, or 4. Often it's the second or the third one that pops.
Yeah.
I was, again, famously 50 pages into Ice Station at that time. So even though I was a failed author by any reckoning, I was 50 pages into Ice Station, sent those pages to her, and on the basis of those pages, she signed me up to a 2-book deal. And that was Ice Station was the first, and that was the book that catapulted me around the world.
Incredible. So let's just go back to your first book. So Angus and Robertson end up putting it on their shelves?
Yes.
Because what people, I guess, don't realise, particularly in that time, if you self-publish, that's one thing. You have the copies in your hand, but then you've got to put it on a bookshelf.
Yes.
The distribution is the next. Like we don't have like the Amazons or here's my little, my little blog where I'm going to pop it on Facebook and, sell it to my friends or my community. And so it was you physically being in the store just so happened to be at the same time or at the right time with that Pan Macmillan.
Correct.
Yeah, incredible.
And it's like two people riding horses a mile apart, shooting their guns and the 2 bullets hitting in midair. Yeah. It's that much of a long shot. And the store manager was a guy named Ken Phillis. He was a lovely man. He gave Contest to one of his staff members. Contest is a few of my books have overt science fiction. Contest is one of them.
Yeah.
And he gave it to one of his staff who read science fiction and fantasy. And the staff member loved it. And so he said to me, I'll put it up next to John Grisham and Tom Clancy.
Oh, my gosh.
And he said,
a little bit of competition. Yeah.
Well, he said, I'm never going to meet John Grisham or Tom Clancy, but I'll be able to say to people that I met you.
Okay. And did you sell the 1,000 copies?
Yeah. I ended up, I've got 6 left. Yeah.
You've got 6 left of that 1,000 run.
They sell on eBay for like $2,000 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're rare now. Occasionally, I'm doing book signings on this trip, and there'll probably be 3 or 4 which turn up.
With that.
And somebody's found it. Either they've bought it on eBay for $2,000 or they've found it in a secondhand store for $2.
Yeah. Or one of those community library things on the street.
Well, there was a really fun one once. I think it was a girl who came into a signing and she'd broken up with her boyfriend, swept all the books off the bookshelf and taken them to a secondhand bookstore and somebody got Contest for $2.
Oh, incredible. So when you look back at that book or when you read it again, if you have in recent years, what do you think of a young Matt?
You grow with each book.
Of course.
And every book is the best one I could write at that time. What surprises me about Contest, I haven't reread it lately, but the last time I looked at it was a few years ago.
I just heard a creep of an American accent there.
It's the R's.
A few years ago.
It's the R's.
Yeah.
It's years.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I'm surprised at how spare and Spartan the prose is. It moves quickly.
Yeah.
I've never wasted words, and I'm surprised at as you get better as an author. What used to take you 10 words now takes you 6. And for me right now, it maybe takes me 4. So even though the books get shorter, there's more in them. They're denser. Contest is surprisingly lean and mean. There's no excess in that book. And
I'm presuming you self-edited as well? If you self-published, do you self-edit?
My brother helped me edit it.
Oh,
and
thanks, bro.
my first late wife helped me edit it. So they were the 2 people who read my books back then, but my brother to this day is one of the first people who reads my books. And people ask me, do you have to do a creative writing course? Do you need to get professional editing service? And the answer is no and no.
If you're self-publishing.
If you're self-publishing.
Yeah.
And with editing, if you read, you know what works. And if your mum or your brother or your dad is a big reader, they'll also know what works. And if they can give you constructive feedback, they're just as good as an editing service and they're free.
Did you ever finish that law degree?
I did.
Okay. What have you done with it?
Nothing professionally. I was at a law firm for a short time until Ice Station came out. As long as iStation could put a roof over my head and feed me, I would keep writing books. And I've been doing it for 27 years, so it's still going. The law degrees come in handy when I do movie deals and even sometimes new book deals.
Yeah, you can review the contract.
I read the contract.
Yeah.
And you often find something on page 37 of a contract where you go, hey, that's not right.
Yeah.
So the law degree comes in handy if only for demystifying gigantic. I mean, the deal I did with Disney, if you're listening, pay attention. The Disney contract was the most watertight thing I've ever read.
Yeah,
in
right.
my
Well, they know
life.
their stuff, right?
They know what they want.
Yeah.
They secured the colouring book rights.
Okay.
If they ever made Hovercar Racer, which they didn't. So now those colouring book rights are back with me, thank goodness.
And so 27 years with the same publisher, that's an incredible relationship. I want to spend a little bit of time for those who don't know a huge amount of publishing, or obviously who see your success, 8 million copies or in excess of 8 million copies sold worldwide, and perhaps don't understand how difficult it can be to be a professional writer or to dedicate your career to writing books. If you don't mind sharing, how small or what was your advance like? Because a lot of people, when they get offered to write a book, most people don't realise that you could earn more money selling fries at Macca's.
Yeah, so let's put it in perspective. It cost me $8,000 to self-publish Contest.
Yeah.
My first deal, my advance for iStation was $6,000.
Yeah.
And that's divided into 3 payments. You get a third of it on signing, a third of it on delivery of the book, and a third of it on publication. So remember, they want to know that you can actually write a 400-page novel.
Yeah.
Most people don't write anything in their life longer than 6 pages, maybe a university essay. So they knew I could write a book. They'd read Contest. I get the $2,000 on signing the iStation deal. Then I have to write the book. And so you get $2,000 on delivery. And then you're waiting another 6 or 8 months before it gets published. So what your advance is, it's an advance against royalties. So once you sell enough books to cover the $6,000.
And most authors don't.
Most authors don't. But with iStation, it was a $30 trade paperback. So I got $3 a book. So once I sold 2,000 books, I was in the black. And iStation itself has sold close to 1 million copies by itself.
Incredible.
So it's been getting royalties for the last 27 years.
Yeah. Right.
And the advances then change. You get more as you get more success.
Yes.
So the advance gets bigger and you have to sell the copies to earn out the advance.
Let's talk about your latest book, The Detective. Is this a bit of a genre shift for you or getting...
Yeah. You could say it's a genre shift. I realised the other day I've been writing now in some way for each of the last 5 decades.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I was a teenager when I started Contest.
Yeah.
In my 20s, it was action, Scarecrow, iStation. In my 30s, there was a shift. I was doing adventure and then books like The Tournament. Now, I'm 51 years old and you change. You start to write things which, for me, it's always going to have pace. It's always going to be fast. That's what I like to read. And when I read these books, 12, 15 times before they get into your hands, I want to enjoy them myself. So with The Detective, I was looking to do much more mystery thriller, set in the present day, in the American South, tackling issues which are, pretty current.
You've obviously been writing over several decades and some of those genres have shifted slightly. Has your reader shifted? Who still is your core? Who picks up your book at the airport or at the bookstore or now online?
Yeah. If you go to a book signing, I would say 55% of people are women who read my stuff.
Well, women are the largest book buying audience,
Women are the largest readers, and there's a whole interview that can be done on how we lose men. Boys read, and then boys stop reading. And then we have to get boys back to reading.
Yeah. Do we know why boys stop reading?
They become 13 and they become cavemen. And, they play football, they see girls, they play video games.
Yeah.
There's a cool factor. There's a whole lot of pressures on teenage boys. And if I had $1 for every time I had a guy come to a book signing or an event and say, I stopped reading, but my mum gave me iStation or Scarecrow or Seven Ancient Wonders, and now I've read all your books and I'm back into reading, and now I read John Grisham and James Patterson, and that's actually one of the joys of my career. Early on, it was about the action. I wanted to do big, blockbuster, giant movie action, blowing up aircraft carriers. As I got into my 30s and 40s, you get The Tournament was a shift. That was a mystery thriller set in the 1500s at a chess tournament. Mr. Einstein's Secretary was a history thriller, set between and during sort of the First World War through to the end of the Second World War. With, say, The Detective, it's more about the hero, that these women have been going missing for 150 years, every 25 or 30 years. And our hero is this guy named Sam Speedman on the autism spectrum. And the reason it's called The Detective and not The Missing Women is because it's about him. He is our narrator. He is taking us through this story, and you get to see the world of crime and criminals through a slightly quirky lens. And to me, that's, I don't know, one of my friends read it the other day, and he said, Matt, there's a lot of you in Sam Speedman. I think, yeah, it might be.
Yeah, why not? But still, it's women who, because I mean, if you look at the cover of your books and you look at some of the subject matter, I would assume that it's a bit, not a bit blokey, but would appeal more to men.
You might think that, but again, even those books, The Tournament, Secret Runners of New York, Mr. Einstein's Secretary, all had female protagonists.
Yeah.
My movie, Interceptor, female protagonist, which, believe it or not, controversially, some people don't like that. Some people actually say, oh, your book had a female lead. I don't read books. That shocks me, but there are people who do write to me and say that.
As in they won't read it because of the female lead?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. People who didn't watch Interceptor. Oh, some people dismiss Interceptor and they go, oh, it's got a female lead in an action movie. It must be woke. And so you go,
right.
Whatever.
Well, let's talk about Interceptor, because how many years was it into your career that you were able to fulfill that childhood dream of directing an action film?
I wrote Interceptor 2017.
Okay.
And I wrote it to be made for under $15 million. So I'd have a shot at directing.
Oh, okay. So by then you knew. You'd learnt your lesson.
Then I knew you have to write the story that can be made for a certain dollar sum, because they won't let a first-time director have too much money.
Yeah.
And so that's why Interceptor is this story of, the bad guys fire 16 Russian nukes at 16 American cities and our heroines on this Interceptor missile platform in the middle of the Pacific. The whole story takes place inside the command center of this missile platform, which means I don't have to shut down streets. I don't have a cast of thousands. It's contained. And so we ended up making Interceptor for $12 million US. And it tested so well with Netflix that they gave us another $1 million to do better visual effects for aircraft carriers and helicopters. And then we had 120 million Netflix accounts watch it. So the thing just went ballistic.
Incredible. And you worked with household name, Chris Hemsworth, his wife Elsa Pataky was
my lead.
Your lead protagonist that upset some people, no doubt.
She was fantastic. There's a scene in the script where in the movie, where she's swinging she's been shot in one arm, so she's swinging from one arm. Yes, I know the scene, leaping from hand wrung. And we actually had it. In the original script, she just did the hand wrung leaps. And when we were in rehearsal and pre-production, I saw the stunt people doing it, and I looked up at these hand rungs and I said, what if you took two out? Could you do a one-armed leap? And they said, let's give it a go. And they did it. And Elsa did that.
Yeah, right.
Did it in the shoot. She did it 4 times. And I said, can you do it one more time for me? And we'll do it really ultra slow motion. And that was the take we did.
Oh, incredible.
She was great.
So now that you've had a taste of it, is that something you want to do more of?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, in my perfect world, I'd write a book, make a movie, write a book, make a movie. I had another film project lined up soon after Interceptor. It was Seven Ancient Wonders. It was a script I wrote. I was going to direct it. I was going to have a budget of about $80 million, and it all fell apart. And that's what happens in Hollywood.
All the time, sadly.
Yep. And I've had a lot of things fall apart. Literary Superstars, a TV show I wrote. The Writers Guild went on strike. That one hurt. The Seven Ancient Wonders one hurt because when Interceptor came out, you burn brightly, but briefly. For 1 month, you are the movie everywhere. And Interceptor was everywhere. So it was a gushing stream of positive attention, negative attention, great reviews, bad reviews.
Yeah.
And that's when you strike to set up your next movie. And the Seven Ancient Wonders one fell apart. And so, still trying to get the next one up a couple of years later.
For those trying to get not just the next one up, their first one up, the self-publishing model is a little bit different today in that it's probably cheaper to print books, easier to flog it online or attempt to sell it online. And I have no doubt that you get asked or approached by wannabe authors about, what your advice is for them.
My advice is do it on Amazon and don't print the books. Do it as ebooks on Amazon.
Yeah.
And sell
the overheads are low. Yeah.
The overheads are low. If you've got some errors in there, you can change them easily.
Yeah.
But the main thing is you can adjust the price. My biggest problem with Contest was when I was selling Contest in bookstores in 1996, I had to sell it for $16.99, which was the price of a paperback book. Now, on Amazon, I think they have a floor of like $1. So you put your book on Amazon for $2 and people will give you a try. But if you put it on Amazon for $16, they're going to say, well, who are you? I still I haven't had it for a while, but I had people complain that my books were too expensive on Amazon. And they're like, why are these books $15 on Amazon? There's no printing costs. And the publisher's answer is, well, this guy's established himself. He's got a reputation. But if you're starting out with self-published, lower the price, put a good jacket on it, and jump on your social media, get on TikTok and tell people about it.
Obviously, your books are very well known. Even in the introduction to this chat, I told my audience that if you haven't read the book, I can almost bet my life that they've seen it at an airport or they've seen it at a bookstore. Do people know you and recognise you? They know your books. What kind of anonymity do you enjoy? Or not? Maybe I'm wrong.
No. Occasionally I get recognised. I remember the last time I was on a book tour, I was in Melbourne and we got to a shopping mall a bit early. And so I just went for a stroll around the mall and somebody spotted me there.
Yeah, right.
And they said, you've got a big line of people waiting for you down at the Big W. But that's rare. Sometimes people recognise the name on my credit card.
Yeah, right.
Or a boarding pass on a plane.
Okay. So I have no idea what John Grisham looks like, for example. But, he's a mega star.
That's right.
In the literary world. Yeah.
And I'd probably walk past him in the street myself.
Yeah.
But people, flight stewards on airlines read a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where I often get them see my boarding pass where it's the name because they see the name on the book. So less the face, more the name. But otherwise, no. It's kind of good. You see, say Chris Hemsworth, seeing him come to the premiere of the movie, he has to live a certain life because his fame can eventually become inconvenient.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt.
Whereas mine is sort of kind of nice that I can turn it on.
Yeah.
And then let's be honest, I spend 95% of my time by myself in a room typing.
Yeah.
And then 5% I come out and do this.
Yeah. Does it ever get, you just mentioned that Chris Hemsworth, in some ways, his fame can get inconvenient and always having to be on because you're in the public, you're recognisable, people want to talk to you. When people go to book signings, your fans, you have mega fans, and you mentioned that after this you're going to go to a shopping centre and meet with fans. Does that ever get tiring?
No, it's
even after 27 years of meeting readers all around the world.
Yeah, well, you want to go back. So you got Contest, self-published. You got iStation comes out. I don't do any touring with iStation.
Okay.
My third book, but the second one to get a big release was Temple. The very first book signing I did for Temple, I remember it. It was up at Castle Hill here in Sydney.
Yeah.
One person came.
Oh,
One.
okay. Yeah.
And that was a friend of a friend who came to laugh at me. So if anybody comes to a book signing, it's
a real
awesome.
honour. Yeah.
There are some authors who sell a lot of books, but their fans don't come out.
Yeah.
So if anybody turns up, they've taken time out of their day to come and get their book signed. And let's be honest, as I say that, I think of this. They're not coming to get the book signed. They're coming to say
connect
hello.
with you, yeah.
To connect, to say that I have enjoyed your words on the page. So I would be mad if I ever got tired of that. No.
That's a wonderful place to wrap things up. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure chatting.
Thanks for having me.
Matthew Reilly's new book, The Detective, is out now. Okay, it is that time of the week. It's time for the Weekend List. It's where Helen Smith and I give you unsolicited advice on what you should do with your time and your energy and your money and your taste buds, because why the hell not? Helen, what have you got?
My first recommendation is a movie called Twinless, so Twinless. And it's labelled as a psychological black comedy, which I would say is pretty spot on. There's a massive twist in this movie.
Okay.
And it caught me off guard and it was so bloody good.
Ooh.
Not going to spoil it, but I was like, whoa, this is good.
Okay.
But Twinless, it plays on the name. It is about twins. There's aspects of twins throughout the whole movie. It's an indie kind of feel.
Yeah.
It's an indie film feel. But it's still really high production, big actors in it like Dylan O'Brien, who has been in Teen Wolf and Maze Runner and all those kind of teenage series. And his acting in this is really good. It's not teenage-esque at all. So I think it's a really cool new side of him. Like, I think it's hard for those actors sometimes who are in series like, Teen Wolf or even like Twilight or something to break out from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great movie, Twinless.
Twinless. Where can you watch it?
So you can watch it in the cinemas. It's at the movies now, or I'm pretty sure you can also download it or buy it or rent it on like Prime Video or Apple TV. So it depends which of those platforms you have. But I would recommend seeing it in the movies. Do the cheap movie ticket thing. If you can, go to your local boutique cinema. We recommended that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But if you can get a cheap movie and actually see this in the cinema, it's really good because you don't want to be distracted by your phone or anything.
Okay. And do you know what I like to do when I go to the cinema? Because I'm a massive tired ass, but also I refuse to pay $6.50 for a water. I always go to either like the local supermarket or from home, and I bring my own popcorn in a Ziploc bag and water or whatever. It's ridiculous.
It's like more than movie tickets sometimes.
I would rather pass out and die of dehydration than pay anything more than $2 for water. It's just like my little
water
tied
should be free.
It should
come
be.
on. Yeah, that's my rec.
All right. So my recommendation, and lately, especially as it's been getting warmer, or particularly in Sydney, I know that some folks in Melbourne and other parts of the country, it hasn't felt so warm of late. I have been obsessed with lettuce burgers, bunless burgers.
Oh, yeah.
So when it's a really hot day and I don't feel like being in front of the oven, I'm also like gluten intolerant, and I don't know if you've ever tasted a gluten-free burger bun, but it tastes like cardboard. But what I do with my lettuce burgers, it feels like it's okay to have 3 of them, and I put everything in a lettuce burger. Key is you need to have iceberg lettuce, kind of like the round lettuce, not cos lettuce. And when I say everything, I mean I put everything in there.
What?
From feta cheese, anchovies, with a burger, everything.
Antoinette,
so it ends up being this like
what the hell?
It ends up being this like huge thing, but lots of veggies and different flavors. I try and go a chicken breast because it's a leaner meat than a beef patty.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense with the anchovy and the feta. I'm thinking, what is she eating?
Yeah, I know, it's a bit gross. I put everything in. I love all the flavors. It's healthy. You can kind of whack it quickly together, and you literally need chicken breast, some iceberg lettuce, and whether you've got, I'm going to add sun-dried tomatoes, olives, a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, yum.
And so for me, that's my kind of, as the weather warms up, crowd pleaser when I don't know what to eat and I want something healthy and nutritious, and where I don't feel bad having like 3 so-called burgers.
That's what I do too. And I love lettuce burgers, but I also make my own sweet potato fries in the air fryer.
Oh, delicious.
On the side, or you can stuff them in there. It's so good.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, so if you want to be, like a bit of a good carbs ingestion.
Yum, it's good.
I love that. I love that we're building on each other's tips. So you got the sweet potato fries and I've got the tight-ass popcorn and water from home. Okay, what is your second recommendation?
My next recommendation is an app called Beli, Beli.
Okay.
So it's a restaurant app. So what you do with this app is you rate and review restaurants that you've been to, and you rate them on, quality and all that kind of thing. It's really quick though. You just do the 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever. And then the app compiles the restaurants that you've rated and creates your top list of restaurants.
I thought you were going to say, and then you get a free meal somewhere.
Oh, I wish.
I was waiting for
that
the
would have
enticing.
been great.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
but it's good because you can rate and you can also save restaurants that you want to go to.
Hold a second. So you rate and review it, and then it feeds you back the restaurants you like the most.
Yeah, but it gives you a list.
But don't you just know the restaurants you like the most?
No, because when you go to restaurants, you're like, oh, that was really good, but that was really good. But this one, it actually compiles all your different ratings and gives you a list of like, this is your top liked restaurant, and it compares them and it comes up with restaurants you've previously rated, right? So you've got a new restaurant, great, visit it. Oh, I'm going to rate that. Ding, 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 give it your ratings or the 5 stars. Then it will come up with previous restaurants you have compared, and you have to say which was better, this or this. and you're like, oh, that one, or that one. And then it will add it to your list. So you have this curated list of your favorite restaurants.
This is weird to me. What's in it for you? This is like catalogue of your own opinion?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I really like just to be told what I think.
You can go, oh yeah, that one is better than that one. I'm going to go there.
Okay, I'm just thinking of another purpose for this. I suspect you can export it and share it with someone.
I don't know. I haven't.
Okay.
I'm
very dubious about this app, but I'm glad it's working for you.
I love going to restaurants.
I love going to restaurants too, but you like to be reminded of what you like.
I like to be like, oh, that was so good. Yeah, rate that.
Okay.
That, whatever. And you can save the ones you want to go to. So I'm like, oh, save that. And you can use it as a map. Like you're using it around your area and stuff. And you can put in postcodes or areas. And there are people on there with profiles that you can see their restaurants if you want to get like inspo as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, nice. Okay,
there are other humans on the app.
Very good. Yeah. That's a nice another element. Okay, I'm sorry to poo-poo on your idea,
whatever,
your recommendation. But that is it for this week. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on the Weekend Briefing. It is always a pleasure spending time with you. What's also a pleasure is hearing back from you, hearing your thoughts. And I would love to know what you thought of this chat with novelist, writer extraordinaire Matthew Reilly. But that is it from us. The team will be back in your headphones on Monday with the headlines and a fascinating deep dive. Be kind to one another, and I don't know, if you want, rate a restaurant. Why not?